is that the club is about the club, it's not about a team.
And I suppose, Ange, if we can come back to you for a moment, I mean, we talk about the success on the field and how ultimately important that is, but it's without guys who are behind the scene, chairmen, secretaries, lotto people, linesmen, umpires. They are the root of the club too, aren't they?
There's a great club here in Lara. In fact, just going to go back to one point you were asking there about, I suppose, Lara and Stradone joining together in the early 70s. Obviously there was great vision to do that, but I think what was the biggest thing for us is that as underage players we got playing senior football right away. I mean, I see a lot of good clubs and by the time they get out of junior and move on to intermediate and move on to senior, you know, with 1 year, bad year, another, they lose 5 or 6 years. And if you get used to playing junior football or even intermediate football, so we had a great privilege, the fact that we were able to amalgamate and move straight into senior. But that's not taken away from, obviously, I mean, it wasn't the players who had the vision to do that. Obviously we had great trainers. And in fairness, a number of the players, and I can mention Ray in particular, who had experience of being maybe playing at college football at a higher level, were able to introduce things to the club that were ahead of their time. And in fairness to the people like Tommy and Phil Devine, they allowed them players they were given an opportunity to present those new skills or tactics to allow these people to do this. So directly and indirectly, there was it wasn't such a situation if you had a job that you wouldn't let, it was your job and you couldn't see other people's point of view or take other people on board to help out. So yeah, the club has, and I mean, in fairness, can I just say as well, I mean, Lara had great times, and you know, in football terms, the last maybe since '94. There was lean times, but Lara's still a wonderful club during that time. And the people are talking about, the chairman, the works that's done on the pitch, the works done in the halls, there's a huge amount happening in the club, even apart from the fact that maybe we haven't won. And again, you know, you mentioned Dermot, the work he done in the 70s and 60s, there's a huge amount of effort going on in underage. And of course, that doesn't happen without a huge leadership and organisation at the top. So there's fierce credit to the people who've been involved in administration of the club, obviously when we won, but equally so to keep the club going. As you can understand, it's much easier to be involved when things are going well. We were down to junior and people still didn't give up, and we have a fantastic club. And we have a fantastic team again now, and I think that the future in terms of football and winning competitions, the football outlook is very bright.
Now, you did mention underage football, and of course you would have juggled underage football, college football, inter-county football at the same time. The fact that it's now restructured to under 17 and under 20 rather than minor and under 21, is that a positive in your view?
Well, I think it's recognised that two facts was, one is that I mean, we're going back a lot of history and people may not remember, but in 1967 I was one of the first students who got free education. So if we call ourselves ordinary people start to go to St. Pat's and Loretto. And if you take the move on from that, 1972, then ordinary people start to go to college. And a lot of people now goes to third level college. So it makes sense that college football is obviously very strong. So there's need to maybe look after people at a younger level. So I think it makes quite sense. I think that so much college football, you don't need under 21s. You know, you can move the thing back a bit. Most boys and girls now, Gaelic football for girls is very strong. When they do their leaving, you know, there's lots of opportunities between their club and college football, and I think the change is in that context.
So I guess if we can go to you've moved on from the area, of course, like Finan did, but you've made new friends, you've made new people, but at the end of the day, is Lara where your heart is?
Of course, yeah. Well, I never played for any club. St. Bridget's Club, I could drop a stone over the wall into St. Bridget's Club from my house. but I never played football for them. I trained there often, but Lara was always, myself and Finnan and a few others drove down every Tuesday and Thursday for probably 18 years to Lara to train. I had loads of opportunities to play with other clubs, but I wouldn't, because my heart is where the club is and with the fellas I grew up with. And the club is very important, and the GAA is very important in a parish. Only recently there, the Fianna Club in Dublin, which is one of the biggest clubs in Ireland probably, were in fear of their grounds were being taken off them to be used as a base for the new Lewis. And they commissioned an international study which were able to recognise the value of the club. And they were astonished by the result of that. And it was independently assessed, and the club was worth 50 million to the parish, to the people of the parish. That's what it was. And it's an independently recognised study. So every parish, that applies to every parish and every club in every organisation in the country that's voluntary. And there was something like 100,000 voluntary hours. They're a huge club in a huge city in Dublin, but Lara are the same. The amount of people that put in voluntary time to train kids, bring them out on Saturdays, Sundays, there's huge credit due to them, and that's what clubs, that's what the GAA is about, and that's why people can't understand a voluntary organisation of players that don't get paid is so strong. It's loyalty to your friends, to your parish, to your family, and that's what it's about. That's what GAA is about to me anyway, you know.
And finally, Finan, I think it's unanimous tonight that with the bunch of good young footballers that's in the parish, success is not that far away again.
No, it's like success is just playing. You know, like if you play, you win, and if you enjoy it, it's all about enjoyment. That's what it is. Can I just go back on one thing there? Are you sure Aj King scored a goal? Like, we couldn't remember that far back whether he scored or not. Anyway, you did.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll reverse the question. Who scored it?
No, Aj did. It must be the only goal he ever scored. But on behalf of the team, before we finish up, that finished up in '79, and I wasn't the captain, rather to do with it, but you seem to be the last one to speak on it. I would have to thank the club and Lawrence and Geraldine on our behalf to have this night tonight and get us all back, because there is some of us that are scattered around a bit. We live in different places and we don't get back together. So we'd really like to thank the club, yourself, Owen, and Lawrence and Geraldine on behalf of the team that played in '79.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, Aj King, Clive Sutton and Finan McDonagh. Finan will be signing copies of his new book in Eason's tomorrow at 12 o'clock. We're moving on a little bit, and very shortly we'll be having an auction of some extremely valuable prizes on offer. So we're going to have an auction very, very soon. But before that, we move on to 1994, and let's meet three people from that particular team: Patrick Shields, Adrian Oates and Paul Brady. Very sorry, folks. We're getting a little bit of feedback, And I know that it's difficult for people at the back here, so we're going to get the mics very close up, so we hope everybody can hear us at the back. We'll only be a few 4 minutes, and I want to thank you most sincerely. The last 3 guys that were here, you were very quiet and very interested in what they were saying, so well done. Patrick Sheens, captain, 1994, good feeling?
Yeah, Owen, wonderful feeling obviously on the day. Funny enough, it probably wasn't the poorest performance of the season that year, and personally I was a bit disappointed on the day. I remember I was marking, it was Rory McShane and got a bit of a clean out, so I wasn't particularly happy with that. But yeah, look, it was a wonderful day for a group of guys, and it was, there were nearly 2 teams in it. There was 4 or 5 guys that had been there from before. And in 82, 83 and 84 I was 12, 13, 14, and like Tomas, I was at all of those games. And they were heroes, those guys that are down there were heroes for us, and we were winning senior titles every year and going to Ulster clubs. So yeah, look, all of that sort of obviously brought everything that I wanted to get out of football. And we were lucky enough as a group of under 14s to have one in under 14, Ryan B, I think it was, in 84. And like at that stage you weren't winning underages every year, you know what I mean? So things had moved on a little bit and that sort of golden era had passed. So yeah, when we got to 94, it was great. I had played in the senior final in 88 as a very young starter and against Ghana that day, and that was maybe the end of the team, and for me probably I saw that as maybe my one chance and it was gone. But yeah, in 94 it was great. It was super to win a competition, and as Finan said maybe earlier, for any group of players it's to win the competition that your level is at. And yeah, it was a great group. There were young guys here beside me who were coming through, and there were stalwarts who were carrying us. I watched the video there. Adge and Finan and PJ Duffy, Lord Mercy, and Johnny Grady. Those guys had carried us through the tough times that year. So yeah, look, and particularly as captain, it was wonderful. Yeah.
Paul, how influential were the survivors from that golden senior era for young guys in the team?
Well,